Hey, Carlos, are you there? I have something I'd like to talk to you about really quick.
Oh, wow. Frida? It's been a while since I've gotten a message from my own little sister. What's up?
Well, the thing is that I'm kind of really worried about Mom.
You're worried about Mom? I don't get it. Is she in trouble or something like that? Why would you be worried about her?
Her and I were actually talking on the phone yesterday, you see. And she just didn't sound like herself at all. I don't know, it was like all the energy had been sucked out of her or something like that.
And you think that's weird? That just kind of sounds like Mom, if you ask me.
You really think that's normal? You mean that she's not stuck and hasn't been feeling bad or anything like that?
No, she hasn't been sick or anything as far as I know. And did Mom even say that she was feeling bad to you or something? I imagine she probably told you she was feeling normal.
Well, yes. She did say that she was feeling okay. But something was off. I could hear it in her voice.
I don't know. Maybe it's just an age thing? You know how people slow down and lose their energy quicker when they're older. You're always talking about how your mother-in-law just sleeps in all day, right?
Well, yeah. But that's because my mother-in-law is much older than our mom. I'm not sure you can compare the two.
You know, I really hate to be the one to break this to you, sis, but our mom is no spring chicken anymore. You know that, right? She's getting older, and that's something that's only going to continue. But you must be having a pretty hard time having to take care of your mother-in-law like that, right?
It is really hard most times, yes. But Lisa, my mother-in-law, is really a sweet woman and does her best to make it easier on me.
I see. But still, don't you think it would just be better to throw her in a home and just be done with it?
No, I don't think the situation is quite that dire yet. I don't have any problem looking after her for now. Besides, it is nice that we all live together, so Juan can help out from time to time too.
Man, what a weird guy. I mean, the moment Mom needs help taking care of herself, I'm throwing her straight into a retirement home. But, she's always saying how she thinks she'd prefer that to me helping her as well. She knows that I have my handful with the kids here and don't have time for her.
Well, if that's really what Mom says she wants to do in the future, then I guess I won't say anything. But I personally think it'd be best to keep her at home for as long as possible before finding a retirement home.
I thought you just said that you weren't going to say anything. You sure broke that promise fast.
Look, Carlos, I know that taking care of an aging parent can seem daunting at first. But isn't that part of why we live in these multi-generational homes anyways? I think we should be grateful for the chance to be so close to our parents. Oh, of course, I kind of already figured that you were pretty against looking after Mom in any way.
Well, the biggest difference is that when Mom does need that help, I'll be able to actually give it to her by putting her in a home. Because unlike your poor husband, I work for a top-level company and make a ton of money.
Carlos, come on. Please don't talk about Juan that way. Why can't you just keep those kinds of thoughts to yourself?
Because it's my life. And if I want to talk about it, I will. If you don't like it, then you should have chosen a better husband.
Ugh. Seriously, why are you always like this? Don't you realize that nobody finds this charming or endearing? I think it's great that you work for such a big company. But why does that make you want to put everyone else down? You know that one day something unfortunate is going to happen to you, and you'll have driven everyone who would have helped you away.
You're just jealous. And besides, I'm only telling the truth, and maybe when the truth changes, then I'll change my tune.
Okay, well, I want you to know that I think the world of my husband, and think that he's an amazing man.
Oh, yeah, sure. I'm sure he's just a great guy. But you try telling him that at least I can afford to put my mother into a home when she needs it. Anyways, I've got some things I need to attend to, so I'm going to go.
Right. Well, I am sorry for bugging you while you're at work. Please tell Mom I said hi. Hey, Carlos. I was just curious. Is Mom asleep right now or something? I'm trying to call her, but she isn't picking up or answering my text.
You're asking me about what Mom is doing? I really don't know. Why do you think I'd have any clue about that anyways?
Is Mom not in the house right now? I'm confused. How could you not know what she's up to?
Oh, right. She had a little dinner party with her friends. That's where she is right now.
Oh, I see. Well, I just wanted to call Mom because my mother-in-law passed away.
Really? Wow, that's awesome. You're finally free. You don't have to worry about taking care of that brat ever again.
Carlos, what is the matter with you? I just told you that someone has died.
Well, I'm just being honest with you. I mean, you are free now, right? You don't even have any parents-in-law to worry about now.
Carlos, please. I'm just crushed about this. I really am sad about Lisa's passing.
Yeah, but you should have known that she wasn't really long for this world at all, right? But, anyways, why did you want to tell Mom about all this?
Well, because I was talking to Mom about how Lisa wasn't doing well. And Mom mentioned wanting to go to her funeral when it happened.
I see. Well, I hope you don't think that I was going to go to some funeral for an old lady I barely even knew.
No, I didn't really expect that you would go, to be honest. But don't worry. I really don't expect much out of you at all.
I'll just buy a card or something and give it to Mom so that she can give it to your husband. It really is the least I can afford. Literally. Maybe I'll even throw in some flowers if I'm feeling generous.
Great. I'm sure those gestures will be greatly appreciated.
Anyways, even if this old woman is dead, you probably even weren't in her will, right? Don't you think that's messed up? You took care of her for 3 years, and she doesn't even leave you anything?
I really wasn't taking care of Lisa with the expectation that I'd be making any money from it.
Yeah. You're such a saint, aren't you? But just know that I can't let Mom be over there for too long. She's got to be back at the house soon.
But Carlos, I was hoping that Mom could stay over here with us for at least a week or something.
I'm sorry. That just isn't going to work with my wife at all. You're going to cause some serious trouble for us.
Well, what's going on with Lucia? Why would it cause trouble for you?
Because if Mom isn't at home, then that means that she'll have to take over doing the work that Mom does. You know that we have kids to deal with her, right? That's why we need Mom here to keep the house clean and do all the cooking for us.
Carlos, please. I'm asking for a week with Mom. Are you really going to deny me that? I can't even remember the last time that I got to see Mom at this point.
Well, that's because you made the choice to become a live-in nurse for your mother-in-law. Don't go blaming other people for your choices.
I know that I was taking care of Lisa for a long time, but still.
I'm sorry, but here at my house, we have rules. And the most important rule is no free rides. We're not just going to hold on to Mom's stuff so she can go on some vacation.
Carlos, please. You know that this isn't going to be a vacation. She's going to be here helping with the funeral and spending time with Juan and I. Besides, it already sounds like you're making her do an awful lot of work, don't you think?
And just what is wrong with that? She's the one who moved into our place, not the other way around. If she wants to stay here, then she has to earn her keep. Besides, she agreed that we'd split up the work around the house when she first came to live with us here.
I know that, and I understand the situation. But I'm just saying that we should let Mom have a little rest too, don't you think? Is one measly week really going to bring your whole house to a grinding halt?
I am telling you that 1 week is going to be too much, and that should be enough for you. If she goes for a week, I'll consider her moved out of the house.
If you really need her help that much, then why don't you just hire a cleaning service for the week that she's gone? You're always going on about how much money you have and how good your salary is.
And I have so much money because I don't waste it on frivolous things like cleaning services when I have a perfectly good mother who can clean up after me instead.
I really just don't even know what to say to that. You're just impossible to talk to sometimes, do you know that?
Well, good. Then don't talk to me. But just know that Mom is living in my house. So you can't just take her out whenever you want without asking me first. I'm already being kind enough to let her go to the funeral. But once it's over, she needs to come straight back home. And I don't want to hear another word about it from you.
Carlos, what is the matter with you? I seriously don't even know what to say. Just what kind of hell have you been putting our poor mom through?
What in the world are you talking about right now?
Well, after the funeral, we all went out for dinner and then all of a sudden Mom just burst out into tears. She said it was the first time in a long time that she had gotten to eat a warm dinner. What have you been feeding Mom to make her say that? Because she told me that you only ever let her eat scraps and leftovers.
Oh, is that what she was talking about? What about it?
What about it? Well, that's just what I want to know. What is that? What are you doing to our mom? Why can't she just eat normally?
Well, a while back, Mom wouldn't get off our backs about not wasting food and even had the nerve to say something to my wife about it. So, ever since then, we've only been feeding her the leftovers to teach her a lesson about showing gratitude to us.
Are you kidding me? Please tell me that's a joke or something. Carlos, how could you do that?
I really don't know what you're even talking to me about this when it's Mom's fault for being so annoying about it.
But I mean, I just really can't see our mom snapping at someone over something like that. Are you sure that she wasn't just trying to gently ask you both not to waste so much food?
Doesn't really matter what tone of voice she took. The fact of the matter is that she was disrespectful, and that's why my problem with her was.
But you were the one saying that you'd be able to provide for our mom because of all the money you had. But you're not actually doing anything like that at all, are you?
Hello? Are you forgetting the part where I'm letting our mom live with us? I think giving someone a roof over their head is reason enough to be grateful. Don't you? Besides, everyone who knows that I'm letting our mom live with me says that I'm doing a really nice thing. So what do you think about that?
Are you really going to try and pretend like that's not just because you're letting them see what you want them to see? Besides, you were telling me that you all split the work around the house. But Mom tells me that she's been taking care of the kids, cleaning the house, and doing all of the cooking.
You have no idea what you're talking about at all. My wife and I do plenty around the house, and that old bat has some serious nerve talking behind our back. And you're just as bad for believing her without any proof of anything that she's saying at all.
I just don't get it. You know, I was suspicious when you first let Mom start to live with you. It just seems so unlike you.
Well, if you have a problem with the way that I'm taking care of Mom, then you can have her. After all, your mother-in-law just died, right? So how about I give you something new to take care of?
Okay, fine then. We'll do just that. I've already asked my husband, and he said he had no problem with it.
You mean that you're really going to take Mom off our hands? You're just going to drop from taking care of one old lady to the next? You really are an idiot. But far be it from us to stop you from doing this. You're only doing us a favor.
You really have no idea what you're talking about at all, do you? But I guess you'll realize the mistake you've made soon enough.
Oh, please. We had one rule, and that was that you had to earn your keep. And honestly, Mom barely kept up her end of the deal. I already know that my wife is going to be so pleased to know that she won't have to deal with my mother anymore.
I'm just telling you now that you are going to regret this. I'll make sure of that.
Oh yeah? I'm so scared. You're really going to make me regret not having to deal with our old decrepit mom anymore.
Well, you do realize that the new house that you built is on the land that Mom and Dad own, right? I mean, I already know that Mom gave you the down payment to start construction on the new place. You go on and on about how much money you make and what a success you are. But I really don't think you're nearly as rich as you let on. But you should know that I'm never handing Mom back over to you.
What are you even talking about? I wouldn't even want Mom back if you begged me to take her off your hands. Hey, Frida! Did you change Mom's phone number?
I did, actually. Why do you want to know? Were you trying to get in contact with her?
Look, I just need you to talk to Mom and ask her to come back and live with us again. Please, I'm serious about this.
Wait, what? What is this all of a sudden? Don't you know Mom is going to be living with me from now on? I already told you that I was never going to let her go back and live with you or your family.
Please, you don't understand. Things are really falling apart here. The house hasn't been cleaned only since Mom left. And the kids are running around and just making things worse, and my wife. She walked out of the house and hasn't come back in a few days now.
And just what does any of that have to do with our mom living with you?
Please, when Mom was here to do all the housework, it was so much better. I thought we might be fine without her, but I was dead wrong, and I need her back.
Well, have you even tried cleaning up around the house on your own?
Are you out of your mind? I have a job. I can't just come home and be expected to clean up and cook as well.
Well, it sounds to me now that your wife has left. You're the only one who can do that kind of work.
Please, just send Mom back here just a little while. Just until the house is clean, and then you can have her back. I swear.
So you want me to send our mom to your house so that she can clean up your house like some sort of maid? You really need to wake up and face the facts, Carlos. Your whole family life revolved around exploiting our elderly mother. She's already told me about how neither of you nor your wife ever did any work around the house and left it all for her.
Well, I remember that Lucila came to me once telling me that Mom was bullying her about not doing anything around the house. But Mom said she wasn't doing anything like that at all.
And let me guess, you took your wife's side over our mom's. You really are a moron, do you know that? Why don't you just open your eyes and see who is actually doing the work around the house? I'm sure if you even cared to pay attention, you'd see that it was Mom doing all of the work all of the time. But you couldn't even offer to help her out even once? You couldn't even let her rest or have a single day off?
What part of me having a job and having to go to work every day to earn money don't you get?
You know, my husband has a job too. And he still comes home and will help clean and even cook when I ask him to. We don't use our jobs or other things as excuses to get out of what we need to do.
Don't you pretend like your loser husband and I are even close to being in the same tier. I'm leagues above him.
Oh, that's right. You're so rich and you work at such a fancy place, don't you? So I guess that should mean that you have enough money to figure this out all on your own, don't you? Well, good luck with it.
Wait, no. Hold on. Don't go. Please. Lucila left the house. She said she didn't want to take care of our kids.
Well, you're their father too, aren't you? Maybe you should step up and try acting like one for once.
But I have to go to work. How am I supposed to watch over the kids if I have to be in the office 8 hours of the day?
I don't know, Carlos. But you were the one who put Mom through all of this and treated her like a servant. So you've really got some nerve coming back to us and trying to ask for help. If you really want help, maybe you should try going to ask your in-laws and leave us alone.
Please. You don't understand. Lucila told me that if I don't get Mom back to do all the chores around here, that she would divorce me.
Wow. Sounds to me like you really know how to pick them then, don't you, Carlos? But you know what? Your marriage is none of my business. And it isn't Mom's job to hold it together through her own sweat and tears. You got yourself into this mess, and it's not our job to help you out of it. So why don't you act like an actual adult and take responsibility for your actions? After that, Carlos realized that no help was coming from us. He tried calling everyone he could to try and watch his children. But finally, he had no choice but to ask his in-laws. He thought that Lucia might have gone back to stay with them for the time being, but they had no idea where she had gone. After some investigating, Carlos managed to track her down to another man's house. Even in spite of her affair, after losing his family, Carlos didn't want a divorce. Lucia, on the other hand, only wanted a divorce and hired a lawyer to force Carlos to accept. After the divorce, Carlos began bugging Mom and I and begging for us to take him back, but we weren't having it. Realizing that we weren't going to budge on the matter, Carlos's calls became fewer and fewer until we stopped hearing from him at all. It was only months later that Mom finally said she wanted to talk to Carlos again. Or rather, she didn't want to lose her grandchildren because of what her son did. So now we're cautiously restarting a relationship with him, but it's going to be a long time before things are back to normal.
Hey, Beth Ann. Is it true? Is it true you're getting remarried? I heard he was the up-and-coming hotshot son of the president of a major company who's set to take on his daddy's title of CEO one day. Are the rumors true? Hello, Irina. Sure, I guess he is technically going to be the CEO one day. But it's really not as glamorous as you make it sound. And the company's definitely not as major as you make it sound. But you will still be the CEO's wife, right? Right? I can't believe you lucked out this hard on your second marriage. I'm not gonna lie, babe, I am mega jealous. Go on, spill the beans. How did you seduce him? What's the secret to bagging yourself a high roller like that? I'm all ears. That's kind of a crass question, Irina. Would you mind not asking me stuff like that? If you must know, we met at work. We started out just as co-workers and, well, it just kind of developed from there. Oh, don't play dumb with me. You may have started out as co-workers, but you must have known he had prospects when you found out he was the president's son. You have your sights set on the title of CEO's wife, right? I didn't even know who his dad was until he proposed to me. You literally couldn't be any wider off the mark if you tried. I see. So, playing dumb was a part of your scheme right from the very start. I have to hand it to you, Beth Ann. You're more cunning than people give you credit for. I never had you down as such a schemer. You go, girl. You're wrong. It's not like that at all. Okay, dear. We can go with that if it makes you feel better. Anyway, I take it you'll be inviting me to the wedding, since we became such good friends after our boys met at kindergarten, right? Huh? The wedding? Of course! You'll be pulling out all the stops to make the wedding of a lifetime, I assume. I bet it'll be a ceremony so lavish, even royalty would feel jealous. He is the future CEO, after all. I mean, sure. Well, I guess we don't plan on making it super low budget or anything, but it's not like it's going to be huge either. To tell you the truth, we're just planning on having a small ceremony with no one but friends and family, so we won't be inviting any of the moms from kindergarten, which, well, I'm sorry to say, means you won't be getting an invite. Wow, why such a tightwad? My fiancé has his own reasons for not wanting to go overboard. He's once divorced himself, and we both agreed that after all the pomp, ceremony, and, more importantly, stress of our first weddings, we're not really that bothered about going through the hassle again. Something smaller scale seemed best for the both of us. But Casey, the mom of one of the other boys in our boys' class, is going. I overheard her talking about it with some of the other moms in the courtyard outside the kindergarten, so don't even try and deny it. Why wouldn't you invite me when we're all part of the same kindergarten moms group? It's not fair of you to leave me out like this. I will not be ostracized. Casey's my sister-in-law. Her coming to the wedding has nothing to do with kindergarten. Huh? She's my little brother's wife. Surely you can see how that makes her family. I'm not leaving anyone out, I can assure you. Oh, really? She's your sister-in-law. Oh, well, my bad. I guess I kind of just assumed you already knew. Most of the other moms do. Really? I had no idea. I haven't invited any of the moms from kindergarten, and that's the truth. So I'm really sorry, but you won't be getting an invite. Fine, I'll give you some Tupperware. Huh? Tupperware? Be a darling and fill it with some of the luxury food from the buffet, won't you? If you do that, I'll forgive you. For the main course, I'll take meat. Make sure to fill it with plenty of mashed potatoes, too. I just love mashed potatoes. Whoa, what the... Are you kidding me? Come on, Irina, I can't do that. What? I'm kindly willing to compromise on not being invited to the wedding. And even this is too much for you? Taking food out of the wedding venue is banned for hygiene reasons. They explained the rules when we registered with them, and they were pretty clear about that one. Goodness gracious me. Would it really harm you to sneak some out? Everyone knows the rules at these places are nothing but formalities. No one expects you to actually follow them. And what exactly are you basing that on? Why would they have rules in place if they weren't supposed to be followed? No, Irina, this is ridiculous. I can't risk getting fined to get you a few slices of beef and some cold mashed potatoes. You know, I never had you down as being this kind of person, but it really is a shame what a tightwad you can be sometimes. That makes me a tightwad, does it? I can't believe it! You're a single mother fresh out of divorce court after your last husband found out you were cheating on him. What? But in spite of carrying around more baggage than a Boeing 737, you somehow managed to luck out and bag yourself a CEO. The least you could do is share some of your miraculous fortune with your friends, you penny-pinching tightwad. You won't have any friends left before long if you carry on like this. Irina, there's something you seem to be making a major misunderstanding about. Do you mind if I set the record straight? What? It wasn't me who cheated, it was my ex-husband. Huh? Hang on. Seriously? I see how it is. So this is why you've been looking down your nose at me this whole time and speaking to me like crap, isn't it? Based on a frickin' baseless misunderstanding? Wow. Oh, Oopsie, that reminds me, we don't have any cucumbers left. Excuse me, dear, I'll have to rush to the supermarket at once. See ya! Wow, you're unreal. Beth Ann, I haven't seen you around kindergarten at all lately. Which means, other than already knowing who your fiancé is and what kind of venue the wedding's being held at, I haven't been able to get any extra information. Which means I had no choice but to follow you. So this is where you're tying the knot, huh? I gotta hand it to you, babe. It's a beautiful place. So this is where you two were planning to get married at today, was it? Well, I'm sorry, darling, but it's time for you to give me back the groom. I hate to break this to you on such short notice, but I'll be the one marrying your fiancé today. Beth Ann, you poor thing. It looks like the groom didn't turn up and your wedding got canceled, huh? I'm so sorry, dear. What can I say? I'm just too drop-dead gorgeous. No man on this planet can resist me. Just like I told you before, it was time for you to give me back the groom. I know this might be difficult for you to accept, but I want you to behave like a mature, responsible adult by letting go of him and struggling on with your life as a lonely single mother without bothering us ever again. Do you think you can do that for me, sweetie pie? Huh? Irina, what's going on? I've been super busy all morning. I only just saw your messages. What do you mean by give you back the groom? I don't understand. What are you talking about? Aha! There you are. Why, hello, Beth Ann. You sure were slow to notice. There's no going back now. We just got done with our 5th round of steamy, passionate lovemaking. That man really is a stallion. I seriously don't have the faintest idea what you're talking about. I did expect you to ask some questions, and I suppose answering them is the least I can do for you, since I did kind of destroy your entire life today. The groom at your wedding today is my ex-boyfriend. Huh? Your ex-boyfriend? I just so happened to catch sight of you and my ex-boyfriend walking around town all loved up not long after I heard you were set to get remarried. I was so shocked my jaw almost hit the floor, so I decided to do a little digging. I found out that my ex-boyfriend's dad was making his preparations to retire from his position as CEO at their industrial waste disposal company, meaning he's next in line as president. I knew this was finally my chance to marry into money by becoming the wife of a CEO, and I wasn't prepared to waste it. Which is why I doubled my investigative efforts, and after a little more digging, I found out where you guys were planning on getting married today. Wow, are you serious? You went to all those lengths? That's not normal. I'm so disgusted right now, I can't even find the words to express it. There's no use in getting all hysterical and panicking now, dear. Your wedding today already got canceled, right? What are you talking about? No, it didn't. Lies, lies. Come on, Beth Ann, you can't hide from reality any longer. Wake up and smell the coffee. We just got back together and went at it like rabbits in the hotel next door. Excuse me? We're still together now, of course. Hang on a sec. You have a husband, don't you? You're not divorced, are you? Don't be jealous just because I'm a hit with the boys and you're not, babe. It's so not attractive. That's not what I mean. I mean, you're cheating on your husband. You have the nerve to accuse me of cheating while being completely wrong, and then you go off and have an affair of your own? What the hell is wrong with you? Yeah, I've heard enough of your jealous prattering now. How about you put a lid on that whining foghorn mouth of yours and just be happy for me and your man instead? I get you must be incredibly salty at missing out on your long-awaited chance to bag yourself a rich, high-flying CEO and being guaranteed absolute financial security for the rest of your life. But that's your problem, sweetie, not mine. Just give up on him, okay? Listen to me, Irina. Today's wedding went by without a hitch, and me and my husband are now officially married. Huh? We're about to head to the after party. Wait a minute, what the? Irina, who the hell are you cheating on your husband with? You know, this is getting sad now. Why not just accept reality already? It'll be a lot less painful for you in the long run. Gotta go. My big hunky stallion is calling me back into bed. Time for round 6. Toodles! Irina, wait! Hello, Beth Ann, dear. It's been a while. Guess what? Me and your ex-fiancé are officially getting married. I haven't seen you at the kindergarten in months, so I had no choice but to go out of my way to bring you the good news on here. The divorce proceedings with my current husband are finally looking like they're about to go through. This pretty much already makes me the CEO's wife. I'm so happy. Hello, Irina. Long time no speak. The reason you haven't been seeing me around the kindergarten is because I moved to another town to live with my husband after the wedding. Huh? Of course, my son came with me and now goes to a different kindergarten, so I'd say the chances of me and you ever seeing each other again are pretty slim. What? You've got to be joking me. Don't say such crazy things, babe. I know for a fact you didn't get married. How could you when I stole the groom? You totally ignored me back when I told you this before, so allow me to repeat myself. Mine and my husband's wedding went by without a hitch, and we're happily married now. Who the hell do you think you stole from me? What do you mean, who? My ex-boyfriend, Jeremy, of course. Huh? Jeremy? Yes, Jeremy! We were high school sweethearts. We started dating in our second year after he came over and introduced himself to me in chemistry class. Oh, him? He's my brother-in-law. Huh? Your brother-in-law? Ah, I see. No way. So that's where he went on the day of the wedding. What? What are you talking about? I didn't marry Jeremy, I married Jamie, his identical twin brother. His identical twin brother? Yep. You mean you didn't know? I'm actually pretty impressed that you managed to be his girlfriend and not find out about him. I get that it was a long time ago, and you could be forgiven for mistaking them for one another since they're identical twins and all. But that doesn't justify cheating. What you're doing is just plain wrong, Irina. Whatever, that's irrelevant. Jeremy is at least the one who'll be inheriting their father's company, right? Right? No, that's Jamie. Oh my god. Jeremy was always the black sheep of the family. He got in with a bad crowd, started doing drugs, went to jail for armed robbery, and eventually got disowned by their parents. Drugs? Armed robbery? Disowned? We were slightly concerned he might try showing up at our wedding with all of their relatives being gathered there 5 months ago. When he didn't show up, we figured he didn't care enough to, and that we'd been worrying for nothing, but now it all makes sense. I see. So he did go to the venue, he just didn't end up gate crashing the whole thing because he ran into you outside by coincidence, huh? I guess he found himself powerless to resist the advances of his ex-girlfriend and agreed to go with you to the hotel. And that's why we never saw him? I guess we owe you a thank you. Oh, there's one more thing you should know. Jeremy's in mountains of debt. What? Something tells me things are about to get really rough for you. Oh my god! Beth Ann, help! What am I supposed to do? I don't have any money! My ex-husband is demanding a ridiculous amount of compensation from me, but I don't have any money! I thought Jeremy would be able to pay it all off because he was in line to become the president of his dad's company. Oh my god, I couldn't have been more wrong. I have no idea how he managed to come up with the cash on such short notice despite already being in crazy amounts of debt, but Jeremy immediately paid off his half of the compensation and refused to help me with mine. He said I have to come up with the money myself somehow. Oh, and he's not just in mountains of debt. It also turned out he's been seeing 3 other girls behind my back. He dumped me. To make matters worse, my ex-husband flat out refused to remarry me, and on top of charging me compensation, he won custody of our son, blocked my number, took my boy, and moved out of state. I can't get through to my parents, and besides, I doubt that they'd help me after all this time, even if I could. Please, Beth Ann, I have no one else to rely on. I am so alone. I can't believe I have to come up with all of this money on my own. Beth Ann, what am I supposed to do? I feel so lost. Hello? Beth Ann, are you there? Beth Ann, please respond. Stop leaving my messages on read. Ugh! I was a little confused when my phone suddenly started blowing up with notifications, but it turned out to be Irina's desperate pleas for help. I did feel a little sorry for her for about a millionth of a second, but I figured nothing good could possibly come of replying to her, so I let her carry on in the hopes she'd realize the futility of messaging me and give up. When the messages calmed down, I blocked her. As for what happened after that, apparently Jeremy, my disgraced brother-in-law, in his desperation to get a hold of the compensation money he owed Irina's ex-husband, borrowed some money from some very bad people. I can't say for sure, but something tells me that might be why he suddenly disappeared and no one's heard from him in months. As for Irina, she incessantly begged for money in the kindergarten moms group chat, but was promptly told in no uncertain terms to get lost and stick her whining where the sun don't shine. Last I heard, there have been multiple sightings of her going into the seedy, run-down hotel by the station with a bunch of different guys recently. I hope she hasn't gone into that line of work, but to be honest, since I'll never see or hear from her again, I'm just gonna forget about the whole thing and focus on enjoying my own life.